see me taking no cash, no $2,000 worth of lottery tickets, nor no cash from Speedway. Period. There never was no cash taken out of the drawers at all at Speedway. And it definitely wasn't no $2,000 worth of lottery ticket. And if they got video like they say, then that should be that. If you're wrong about something, because I don't want something to be on the record. Excuse me, it never was no amount agreed to in the recommendation. That was something that.
Yes, Your Honor, I have reviewed the report and recommendation with Ms. Pitts-McGoy. So the only modification we would make that I'd like the court to note that Ms. Pitts-McGoy has indicated to me that she does take responsibility for taking some of the items identified in the police report, or was her statement to the probation department. She apparently was indicating that there were certain other items that she did not take responsibility for. That said, she certainly regrets her actions and asks the court to accept the recommendation.
All right. Ms. McDuffie?
Your Honor, not too much I agree with the recommendation. I'm just scanning this quickly to try to get a handle on what the exact amount is going to be. Obviously, we need to pursue that further and get verification for that fair amount that was agreed to in the plea agreement for restitution. But other than that, I agree with the recommendation.
Well, excuse me, it never was no amount agreed to in the recommendation. That was something that.
Ms. McGoy, you're going to be given an opportunity to talk, but this is not yet that time.
And just to be clear, Your Honor, the plea form states that a fair amount is to be paid. So I was referring to those words, no specific number, but that number had to be with her.
I was only speaking because he was not my attorney, so he's not familiar with my case. I'm familiar, so I don't want nothing to be placed on the record that's not true. And he's talking, and he has not even been my attorney this whole time. So I will correct you if you're wrong about something, because I don't want something to be on the record that's not true, and then it be something different. That's all I was doing. So my apologies, Your Honor.
So the plea form says, which is the plea form that your attorney at the time signed, says that you must pay reasonable restitution. Is there something you would like to say prior to sentencing, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
So, Mr. Lebo, are you requesting a restitution hearing at this time?
Your Honor, my understanding is that would depend on exactly what the amount of restitution being requested is, and we do not have that number at this time.
And how do you plan on coming up with that number, Ms. McDuffie?
Your Honor, I'm scanning this report. Obviously, this is something that was remanded, so I wasn't involved in the case when it was pending in the PCC stage. So I'm trying to get some clarity, and I don't have the ability to do that right now with respect to any items that might have been recovered, returned. I just don't know that at this point. Most of this is apparently cash and lottery tickets. So I'm assuming that the cash is not something that was recovered because it wasn't something that was caught at the time, and prevented from leaving the establishment. But I just wanted to follow up with some of the other folks that handled this case previously to get any more details that might be there I'm not aware of. So we can set it for a hearing because we, one way or the other, we need to come up with a number. So I don't, it may be that we need one regardless.
Well, I'm gonna and Speedway submit whatever documentation that they believe they have. I don't know how they can determine this.
When it comes to the lottery tickets, I know I've prosecuted some other cases before in another court where we were able to actually retract the specific ones that were missing, reported missing, because there's very strict accounting that goes between that and the state office. So that could take me a bit of work to follow up on, but I may be able to get that information too.
Okay. And then they're claiming $1,200 in general merchandise and then another $210 in Newports. And is there a way that there was a video? Correct?
It looks like there is at least some surveillance screenshots from video, and I can't make it out because it's a little bit tiny on my screen, but it looks like there are some ledgers or some other accounting of some sort of items from this case. I just can't clearly see it. It's rotated and very small on my screen, but it looks like there's a balance sheet in the police report that is apparently supposed to document what was taken here some kind of way.
Excuse me. Your Honor, so I'm at the point to where now I really want to reject my plea because that's not true. It never was no cash took. It never was no cash taken. And if they got video, that video gonna show that. There never was no cash taken out of the drawers at all at Speedway, not one time. And it definitely wasn't no $2,000 worth of lottery ticket. And if they got video like they say, then that should be that I really prefer for my lawyer to request that. So when we do go through this restitution process, I'm not being overcharged for something I know I did not take.
All right. Anything else you want to say today, ma'am?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. No, I just wanted to clear that up because I don't want to be, that's why I pleaded no contest because I don't want to be held accountable for something I did not do completely. I'm not, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I should have to pay for something I didn't do. I never took cash from them people. I never took $2,000 worth of lottery tickets. None of that stuff that they accused me of is true. And if this prosecutor got cameras, then when it's time for this restitution court hearing, she needs to produce the correct evidence that they're trying to say, because then it's going to show that it's a bunch of lies. What they said, they're not once they're going to see me taking no cash, no $2,000 worth of lottery tickets, nor no cash from Speedway. Period, point blank, or no $1,200 in merchandise. That's a lie too. So I prefer for them to get that video on footage. I know they got 60 days. It shouldn't take that long. It shouldn't take 60 days to get it. So I can hurry up and pay what I do and what I am responsible for and just put this behind me and work on me. But I can't just be like, oh, I'm about to pay this to please the next person I know I didn't take what they accusing me of.
So if I could just inquire of the court, I'm not sure if we are proceeding with sentencing or if there's going to be an attempt to withdraw the plea in this matter. Where are we with this, please?
My last discussion with Ms. Pitts-McGoy, which was yesterday, she did not indicate to me that she was wanting to withdraw the plea.
Yeah, that's true too, because also when I talked to you, I didn't hear that no prosecutor sitting there accusing me of a certain amount. That's not true. I also didn't hear that neither when I talked to you yesterday. You never once mentioned to me, oh, they saying you stole $1,200 in merchandise. They saying you stole this amount of cash. Never was no cash took. So it is confusing when all the conversations are not in the same circle. You got one conversation this way, one conversation this way, one conversation this way. That is very much confusing. And I'm not going to plead to something that I did not do. That's what I'm just not going to do. I'm not going to pay for something that I did not do. That's not what I'm going to do.
Anything else today, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
All right, ma'am. You're here on sentencing. And you've spoken and I've allowed you to do so. Please don't interrupt me, okay? Just so you're clear. You're here for an embezzlement charge. You did plead guilty or no contest, as you say, which does not in any way, shape, or form mean that you are disputing what is being alleged. When you plead no contest, in reality, what happens is no contest means that you accept the allegations as they're made in the report. That is what no contest means. The court gets to review the allegations in the report and accept them as true. That's what a no contest plea is. Means you're not going to say you did it. You're not going to say you didn't do it, but the court is going to treat you as if you're guilty of what's in that report. That's what no contest means. Having said that, you're here for sentencing on this today. The court is going to sentence you as follows: 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail, credit for 1 day served. 364 days are suspended. You are on probation for 12 months. You have fines and court costs in this particular case for a total of $425. Restitution is to be determined within 60 days. You're to complete the Crossroads shoplifting program. Do not go to Speedway store in Ypsilanti. Meet with probation when and where directed, including any and all home visits. Make earnest efforts to maintain legitimate employment. No assaultive or threatening behavior towards anyone. You to submit to, pay, and be responsible for random drug and alcohol tests as requested by the court, probation, or probation officer. In fact, you are to report within 24 hours to be tested for ETG as well as substances. If you have a negative, then there will be no further testing. No use or possession of alcohol, marijuana, either medical or recreational, and no drug paraphernalia, no being in the presence of anyone using that. Same is true for firearm components, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons, and no being in the presence of anyone carrying or using them. We'll do a review in 60 days. That's going to be on December 14th, 2023 at 10 o'clock a.m. At that point in time, I expect that any restitution that is being requested in this case will have been provided to this court in that request, and we'll schedule the restitution hearing after that time. If it comes in before then, that would be beneficial, and we can have the restitution hearing on that date. Any questions, ma'am?
Yes, I have a question. So, I don't currently stay in Washington County. So, and then I have another case that I'm dealing with where I'm not even supposed to be driving. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't have no problem drug testing, but I'm trying to figure out where would I go to drug test because I can't get to Washington County. I got 2 kids and I just started a job today. So I don't know if we can work out something with me doing something in Detroit and I can try to find a ride, but I don't have no ride to get out there.
Yeah,
and I'm also not trying to violate and be taken from my kids.
You can test in Detroit, ma'am. I don't have a problem with that. So you can talk to the probation department when you call them. Actually, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you 48 hours to test if you need a place in Detroit to test. Okay.
And I was never, and then another thing, my last lawyer didn't explain to me what the no contest was. He didn't say that y'all was going to go based upon any allegations. He said that I was technically not admitting or declining, but he was running back and forth in the courtroom that day. So he never really broke down what the no contest was, or I wouldn't have pled no contest. I would have just took it to trial.
Well, I think you have to talk to your attorney about that now.